Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Grace Alana here, Grace the Astrologer, and welcome to day 8 of 25 days of astrology. So, in December, every day from December 1st until December 25th on Christmas, I will be uploading one long form video to my YouTube channel, one long form astrology video, and it's been a mix of all types of different content. I've done celebrity videos, I've done horoscopes, I've done just general interpretations, I've done placement videos, so definitely go tap into the 25 days of astrology and some of my other videos. There's lots of good content for everybody on my channel. So today's topic is going to be a popular one. We're talking about the midheaven, which is an angle, and the angles in astrology really set the tone for your birth chart and therefore your entire life. And the midheaven is the angle that I get the most questions about, if you want to be honest. So we're going to get into what it means in general and also what it means to have the midheaven in each sign, just a brief description. And then later on my channel, I will be giving a longer, fuller video for each sign individually. And yeah, it'll just give a lot more detail, but I don't want to make this video super long because, like I said, I'm going to be doing more detailed videos for each specific one. Now, there's already a video about the midheaven on my channel. I recorded a video breaking down what it means to have the midheaven in each house because I am a traditional astrologer. I use a mostly traditional approach and I use whole sign houses. And in whole sign houses, the midheaven can be anywhere in the top hemisphere of your chart. So that means that the midheaven can be anywhere between the 7th to 12th house, which is kind of different because a lot of people more than likely have seen their chart or learned astrology from a more modern Placidus perspective, which in the Placidus house system, the 10th house, the midheaven is automatically the cusp of the 10th house because angular house, it's an angle. So the midheaven is only in the 10th house, but again, there can be different flavors. It can be in different houses. So I'm going to link that video. It's probably already linked. And you can go watch that as well, too, if you want more detail. But yeah, stay tuned for the longer videos. Now, before I get into this video, I know a lot of y'all have been telling me I talk too much. I don't really care. Like, you can skip it. You can use the little AI thing at the bottom to literally skip it. Like, you can do an AI like timestamp thing. This video will have a timestamp though, but yeah, I don't really care if y'all think that I'm long-winded because you don't have to watch my videos. But yeah, I am a professional astrologer, and if you want a birth chart reading, if you have any questions about yourself, your life, your midheaven placement, whatever, I can answer them using astrology and your birth chart. So the link will be in the description to book a birth chart reading with me. I'm always accepting readings and clients. And there will also be the link to subscribe to my Patreon, where if you pay $15 a month, you can get a mini reading. You can ask me a question that I can answer something about your midheaven or whatever you want to know. So the link to those and also the link to all of my social media platforms, if you want to follow me elsewhere, will be in the description. Now let's get into the midheaven. So the midheaven is the highest point of your chart, and it is associated with your public reputation, your overall calling or life direction. Man, y'all, now my light just died, and this is the only light that's on in my house right now. That just scared the shit out of me. I had to put that hole in a charger. But like I was saying, your midheaven is the angle that represents your public image, your public reputation, your calling or your overall life direction, but from a public standpoint. I always tell people your purpose and your career don't necessarily overlap. For some people, a lot of times it can, but when I'm looking at your purpose, or when y'all ask about your purpose, y'all really want to know about your career. And your midheaven can tell you your purpose in that public or vocational type of setting. Whereas there are other ways to look at your overall life purpose. Because again, everybody's life purpose don't necessarily associate with their career, their public image, so on and so forth. So I do want to emphasize that. The midheaven is also an angle that can be associated with, what you're known for, what you're recognized for, your honors, your achievements, and your own personal authority. And, you know, it can also be associated with your personal brand, your visible career lane, your long-term professional identity, and the energy or the ways that people see or associate you with on a larger public scale. So it's not necessarily your job, and that's another thing. So the money houses, second house, I always tell people, side note, and even when it comes to career, the midheaven is one of the many things that I look at. I look at your midheaven, I look at your 10th house, I look at, you know, if there's any stelliums or any major areas of concentration in your chart, because that can speak to an area or a lane that you might thrive in or have some interest in, so on and so forth. But the 10th house and the midheaven and all of that is associated with your overall career or your overall goals or the way that you're seen. Whereas the 6th house is more so like your job or your work. And then the 2nd house is the house that represents your money. So the way that I think of this is, let's say you want to be a doctor, but while you're in medical school, you are also bartending on the side. So your goal of being a doctor, your career is the 10th house, whereas you bartending is the 6th house. And then sometimes you like to bake, so sometimes you sell cookies on the side when you got the time to bake. That would be a 2nd house thing. So as you can see, like, all of those things can connect together to get you to the 10th house, to get you to your overall goal or where you're trying to go, but they're not necessarily connected in a sense, because you don't need money. I mean, you don't need a job to make money per se, and your job isn't necessarily your career, but they can definitely and should overlap. And, you know, y'all get what I'm trying to say. So let's get into the midheaven in each sign. If you have an Aries midheaven, this can speak to somebody being seen as bold, being a pioneer, being decisive, somebody who takes action, somebody who's a trailblazer, not necessarily afraid for a challenge or a risk. Your career path can require you to, again, be adventurous, to carve your own path, to be independent, and also to maybe assert yourself and be a leader, or to, you know, maybe you have to fight, maybe you have to assert yourself, maybe there's some air of competition or maybe conflict in a sense even as well, for you to really thrive and do what you got to do. You can be known for taking risks, but again, also starting things and initiating movement. And you need to be in a role where you can go first, where you can be innovative, where you can do something new, where you can be independent, where you can kind of like, again, pave your own lane and kind of do what you want in a sense. If you have a Taurus midheaven, you and your career and your, you know, your public image can be associated with being steady, being reliable. Even a lot of your goals or your professional life might be associated with a lot of material accomplishments. It might take you slowly to build your career trajectory, but because you are patient, because you are dedicated, because you are reliable, this can create long-lasting results. You're known for your quality. You're known for consistency. You're known for having refined taste. And your careers or, you know, your reputation can often be associated with resources, luxury, or stability. If you have a Gemini midheaven, you are a communicator, a messenger, a connector. So your public path or your career can be associated with things like communication, technology, bringing people together, curiosity, intellect, anything like that. You can be seen or associated with being clever, being versatile, somebody who's witty, somebody who's very mentally agile, and somebody who's just smart, period. Because Gemini, and well, Mercury in general, but specifically Gemini, you know, is the sign of twins. A lot of that energy is associated with duality. You can have multiple career lanes or even multiple career roles over time. So it's like you could do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Or you might do something for a certain amount of time and then decide like, I want to totally switch it up and go over here now and do something different. And your roles or your image can be associated with themes of nurturing. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I was looking at my next thing, my next bullet point. Somebody texted me and it distracted me. It can be associated with writing, teaching, media, marketing, business, commerce, those types of things. So, Cancer midheaven, is, you know, ruled by the moon. So there's that nurturing public presence. You might be in a role where you're caretaking or hosting or providing or helping or assisting or guiding or doing something to where there's an emotional or nurturing type of connection. You know, you can be known for your emotional intelligence and care. And, you know, this can be associated with protective roles, things related to the home, food, healing, community support, your own personal needs and care, but even, you know, others. And you can be somebody who can be a leader, because Cancer is a cardinal water sign. Cardinal signs are very associated with like leading and initiating and all of those things, but you can do this through care, you can do this through emotions, your intuition, so on and so forth. Leo Midheaven, you are somebody who has a very strong, eminent presence. You can be recognized. You can be influential. You can be a leader. You are known for your confidence and your overall creative authority. Your careers can be tied to your performance, your leadership, or your overall creative direction. And the sun is you. So this can even speak to having a very self-directed public image and doing things that are focused on yourself and your own goals and where you're going. My bad, y'all. I got DoorDash on the way, so I'm just trying to see what's up with my food because I see the notification. Even thinking about the sun is yourself. The sun is your own personal confidence in the way that you assert yourself, in the way that you are empowered or seen in your ego, in a sense. So you can be known or associated with your confidence. And, you know, people can see you as a thought leader, as someone who's influential. And your career can be associated with your own personal performance, leadership, or creative direction overall. And these are the people who thrive in the spotlight. Like, it's easy for you to garner attention, and you can be somebody who can, again, achieve a lot of recognition or get the spotlight for the things that you're good at, for leadership, however that manifests for you. If you have a Virgo Midheaven, your career or public image could be associated with your skills, with your precision, with you being helpful or resourceful, with you, you know, being very problem solving and being somebody who is solution oriented. These are the fixers. These are the people who are piecing things together. These are the people who have a strategy, who have a plan. You're known for your expertise, and you're known for being reliable and being supportive. Your careers can often involve service, analysis, systems, structure, organization, precision, and you can really a lot of times build your career through your mastery and through your hard work and through your investment in your own personal skills. Having a Libra Midheaven can make you be seen as somebody who's diplomatic, somebody who's artistic, somebody who's graceful, who's classy, who's very socially polished and put together. You're known for your charm. You're known as somebody who's fair and is about justice and who does things for the peace. You like to keep things copacetic. You want things to be pretty. You want them to look good. Aesthetics are everything for somebody with a Libra Midheaven. You know, your careers can be associated with beauty, relationships, negotiation, law, art, aesthetics, anything fashion oriented, anything fun or creative, anything that brings you joy, because Venus is the planet that represents all of these things. And even thinking about how Libra is a sign that's associated with people and partnership, and even again, Venus is the planet of relationships. Your roles can often involve partnerships or be very people oriented as well too. If you have a Scorpio Midheaven, then your career or your public image can be, you can be seen as somebody who might be a little bit private. People might not necessarily know a lot about you, or there might be a lot more to you than meets the eye. You might not necessarily always show up as this, man, my fucking DoorDasher is on a bike. I know that. I'm looking at this, I'm like, why is it taking this person so long? It's cold and they're on a fucking bike. No words. But even though, you're somebody who might be seen as private, or there might be some things that go on behind the scenes with your career or reputation, you're still somebody who's seen as powerful, and people are drawn to you. You might have this natural allure, even though you're not necessarily putting yourself on display all the time. And even in a sense, you can be somebody who's known for your depth, for your own strategy, for your, because even thinking about Mars is another planet that's associated with skills and instinct and precision. And even thinking about Scorpio is a sign that's all associated with like transformational energy and the underworld and the depths and things that are unseen. So there can be a lot of, behind the scenes type of energy that's associated with that. And you can be working in fields that are taboo, that people don't necessarily like to talk about, or things that are not traditional or unconventional in a sense, things that involve like a lot of investigation or research. Even thinking about Scorpio is a fixed water sign, so there's that connection with emotional or intuitive or healing type of things. And people can see you as intense, or you might have, like I said, a mysterious presence, but you're still influential and people still want to see or know a lot more about you. Sagittarius Midheaven can bring your public identity to be associated with your wisdom or your knowledge, your beliefs, your values, the things that you know to be true. You might be somebody who is a thought leader. You might be teaching somebody something, sharing your philosophies. And Jupiter is a planet that's associated with adventure, exploration, being free, being explorative. You might be known for your ideologies. You might be known for big ideas, or like I already said, like being a thought leader. And your career can be associated with education, spirituality, publishing, media, global work, anything related to like the law. And at the end of the day, as a Sagittarius Midheaven, you have to have the space and opportunity to have freedom when it comes to your career and the work that you're doing, period. Okay, y'all, my food is secure, and homegirl was not on a bike. I don't know why it said that she was on a bike. Like, that was a mess. But like I was saying, with freedom being the main priority of your career for a Sagittarius Midheaven, I call Sag the wild and free sign. And like I already said, like, Sagittarius is a sign that's associated with freedom, exploration, adventure. So it's like you kind of have to explore and do what you want to get to your own path. And that can also be something that you might be known for if you have a Sag Midheaven. If your Midheaven is in Capricorn, you are seen as somebody who's ambitious, somebody who's respectable, somebody who is disciplined. You can be known for your authority and for your responsibility. You can be somebody who has a career in leadership, somebody who works in government or some sort of major institution, a corporate role, a manager. I was about to say managerial, and then I was going to say management. But regardless, some sort of role where you're large and in charge, and you bossing people around, and you telling them what to do, and you the big boss. And being ruled by Saturn, it might take you a while to get there, or there might be a lot of commitments or hard work or responsibilities in order for you to have this image or reputation that you're looking for. But you often get rewarded heftily. Is that a word? You know what I'm trying to say. For all the stuff that you've done. If you have your Midheaven in Aquarius, then you can be seen as somebody who is innovative, unconventional, somebody who's focused on the collective and a mission that might be broader than just you. You can be known for your originality. You're known as being a trendsetter. You're known for doing things against the grain, or maybe rebelling against what is typical or what everybody else is doing. So if within the context of your career or your reputation, if everybody's going left, you're gonna go right, and then you're gonna spin around, and then you're gonna cross the street. You can maybe have a career in technology, social reform, community building, something esoteric, anything adventurous, anything risky, or within your role, like I said, you could be doing something different and carving your own path with that. And your career or your public identity might be future oriented. And this is also another placement that can make somebody be seen as a thought leader or an originator. And you can just make a career out of, what is unique about you, or you can just do something different. Even, this gives like disrupt an industry type of vibe. And if you have a Pisces Midheaven, you might be seen as somebody who's symbolic, somebody who's spiritual, somebody who's artistic, somebody who's elusive, somebody who's creative, somebody who's mysterious. You're known for your mind and your imagination, and you can be known for your empathy, for your intuition, for compassion. Your careers often involve art, healing, film, mysticism, doing something for a greater cause, like something that's charitable or working in like a nonprofit space. And people can see you as an intuitive person, and they can see you as somebody who can blur boundaries and merge things together and bring people in parts. And it's just a very mystical type of vibe in your public role. I have a Pisces Midheaven and I'm an astrologer, so there's that. So yeah, let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. Let me know what your midheaven is, what sign your midheaven is in, and how that shows up for you publicly or professionally. And stay tuned for the rest of the 25 days of astrology videos. We got I think today was 17, 18, I don't know. But we in that ballpark of videos left. And stay tuned for the rest of the midheaven videos, because those will be coming. Some of them will be coming slowly but surely. There's not really a rhyme or reason to the way that I post. I know it's a little bit chaotic, but I try to do a little bit of something for everybody so that I'm not just spending 3 weeks pushing out videos on one specific topic. Like, I think that's boring. So I know it might take me a while to get to every specific topic within a specific branch on that larger tree, but just know I got y'all and I'm gonna get there eventually. So yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting, thank you for subscribing. I hope you subscribed. The link to my website, my Patreon, and all of my socials again are in the description box, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.